We are here with UC San Diego head coach Ricci Luyties. To his left, Alyson Penrose, and to his right, Tekstra, after a tough 5-set loss in the opening round of the NCAA tournament. First, coach, just an opening statement about tonight's match.
Well, I think we played a fairly good match at times. They did a good job serving us and getting us in trouble, even though there were a lot of service errors. But we had a lot of attack errors, which I think hurt us in such a close match.
Statistically, it does look like it shouldn't have even gone to 5. What were you doing to battle out there to keep that match extended?
I think our team we really wanted to fight and go out there and play a good game. Even with some of our stats that maybe didn't look as great, we had a lot of heart and a lot of effort. So we were scrambled even when things didn't look pretty. We made things work, just not quite enough.
Cindy, talk about that heart. What was going through your mind, and how did you motivate the team to kind of extend the match?
Well, I think this past year we've been tested a lot in a lot of games and a lot of practices and a lot of conditioning sessions. So I think we all kind of came together with that and brought that heart and fire that we knew we had. So yeah.
Obviously, it's never great to end the season this way, but this is your first time back to the NCAA tournament in a few years, since 2015. Just kind of talk about that progression over the last couple of years to even get to this point.
Yeah, we think the season was very successful, even though we lost this match. From last year to this year, we've made a lot of improvements, and so I'm really happy with the squad and what we've done. I think this team was really fun to coach, and all the players have been great. So, as tough as this loss is, I think overall the season was a good season for us.
Coach, you guys you fall behind 1-0 off of that ace to start the 5th, and then you get on that roll there. Just how hard is it to start the set that way with a service ace and then get on a roll like that? Because it seemed like the train just didn't stop
Yeah.
for a little while there.
Yeah, it's typical volleyball, a game of momentum, and we got on a good roll there, and then as soon as they side out, we gave up a couple of points and really kind of lost that lead right away. So, and that's how the ebbs and flows of the games happen a lot, and you have to be able to ride through those and keep steady. And I think at times we did that, and at times we kind of gave a few more points to them to get them a little bit more back in the match and confidence.
What's the toughest part about being in a 5-setter, that kind of 5-setter? I mean, there are 5-setter, not all 5-set matches are created equal, but when you're in a 5-setter that you lose, you're done, versus a 5-setter and hey, we live to see next week.
Right.
What makes one tougher than the other? Just the fact that the finality of it if you lose?
Because you have to live with it through the whole rest of the year and think about it for the whole off season, and kind of it eats at you, having that last play or those last things happen. And I'm assuming as a player, any kind of errors that you have get magnified because you have to keep thinking about them. So those are definitely tougher, and sometimes it's like you lose a game 16-14 is tougher than getting blown out, in those 5th games. But, again, I like how this team fought back, and there were times when we were down pretty big and came back and still battled. And so, you could, at those times, there's a lot where these teams will quit and just think that they're out of it and get on each other, and they stayed together well. So I'm happy with that.
Can you expand on that? You and I have been talking all year about the resiliency of this team. I kind of want to hear from Alyson and Cindy on that topic. Kind of right from the get-go, losing Cindy in an exhibition at the beginning of the year. So can you two kind of expand on that resiliency?
We all get along very, very well, and I think if we're in a practice and you miss a point, then it's not just a personal that was just on me and it's all my fault. It's oh my gosh, I got lost there for the whole team. So we just constantly felt fight in our practices and our games for the whole team, and it was more of a team effort than just individual. I need to do this for the whole team. It was the whole team needs to do this for each other, which helped.
Yeah, similar along the same lines Sid said. We had a lot of teamwork, a lot of just value we placed on what we were doing for the team, and I think that helped us be resilient. And I also think we learned a lot. We became more resilient over the course of the season in itself. We were talking even in this last set about focusing on the next point and not getting bogged down by the past point or whatever the last play was, and moving on for each other.
Ladies, as UCSD volleyball makes the transition to the Big West, you guys are seniors, so you won't be a part of that, unfortunately, but do you guys feel like you left the program in a better spot than you found it 4 years ago?
I came last year,
Or-
so I left
yeah.
it in a much better spot. Honestly,
Yeah, I would say we've definitely had good moments in every season I've been lucky enough to be part of, but we've made a lot of progress specifically in this last year, and that's due to just a shift in mentality for our team, and the culture we're creating, just a lot of help from coaches and other staff in our athletics department, which I think we're all really grateful for, and I think it will be exciting to see where that takes them in the Big West next year.
Coach, talk about that transition. It's a 4-year road with no postseason. Well, the NIVC is an option, but kind of like what Cal Baptist is going through now. Are your goals going to be the same, going forward? Try to win the Big West regular season title, get into that postseason tournament as many times as you can, and say, hey, we proved ourselves, we can hang here.
Yeah, it's always the goal of going in is to win the conference and do that. How realistic that is, I don't know, going into the Big West, but we know that we're not going to be playing in the postseason, but we're going to go out and try to win every game that we can. I think that we have potential and do have a base of players that we can keep adding to and keep improving and be at that level. We've actually played a couple of like in the spring, some tournaments that we did have teams in there that we played against, and it fared pretty well. So, I don't think it's obviously going to be a big jump up to the Big West, but I think our players are very capable of it.
And just look back at your time in Division II and, the years that UCSD has been here, and just what are you going to, I imagine you guys are going to miss probably the relationships you've built with other coaches, and you'll still see each other on the road, but you won't be playing each other, so it'll be a different kind of relationship, right?
Yeah, there's always a camaraderie between the coaches because we see each other out recruiting all the time and that kind of stuff, and I think there's a lot of respect for the coaches in each school and for each other. So, I know I'll always have a relationship a little bit with them. I mean, we're not close, but I feel comfortable saying that I'm friends with them, and I think that going forward, we'll have new people to meet and new places to go.
All right, I'm good.
Since you guys are seniors, still got a little bit more school to go. Can you tell us what your future plans are, if you know right now?
I'm not totally sure yet. I speak Chinese. I'm hoping to use that in business. I'm an international business major. I really want to keep playing volleyball. I don't feel like I'm done. Maybe I can play in some beach tournaments and keep working on my skill and maybe keep playing when I'm older.
Alyson?
Yeah, I don't have the whole rest of my life mapped out yet, but I'm hoping to take this next year and get a little more work experience in business or law, and then consider law school or business school in a year or so.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.